Hi, I'm Zuzanna, and I've been doing King's Undergraduate Research Fellowship this summer. It's a program for undergraduate students in which they can learn how to do research through working as research assistants over the summer for any academic from King's who applies for it and get paid for it. I applied for KURF this year because I want to do research in the future. I'm an undergraduate student now, but I know that I want to do master's and PhD, so that's my career plan. And I wouldn't want to move on to my MA not knowing what I'm signing up for, and also because that sort of experience in your CV looks really good, so that when I apply to further universities after this one, I will probably stand out from the crowd of applications of undergrad students, because I will have that research experience, hand-on experience when I did something by myself, so I know how it works. I think it's very valuable. So our research project is about reading words, low-frequency academic words, and the way they are read and processed by native and non-native speakers of English. So we don't really read every letter of every word. We actually look at one word, and around that word we can read up to 3 to the left and to the right. So we only have to fixate on one word. We still get the information about the rest, and then our eyes jump 6 words further down the line and read the rest of it. In order to design the experiment, my colleagues and I spent the initial 3 or 4 weeks looking for words that would fill in all the criteria that we needed them to fill in. There were several sentence structures that we could use, but we decided to use one in which our word of interest is in the middle and it doesn't probably draw too much attention, so that we didn't want it at the beginning or at the end, because in eye tracking, when you read a sentence, you obviously look at the beginning and at the end. Whereas if the word is in the middle, it's very easy to see that the person that finishes reading a sentence goes back to look at that word again before rereading it or moving on to the next slide, which is what we're looking at. We do our research on an eye tracker provided by the company called Acuity, and the eye tracker is called Tobii X260. It's a screen-based eye tracker, which basically means that this small device goes on the bottom of a screen that you want to eye track on. You put your participant in front of that device and let them read or watch a video or browse through a website, and Tobii, as it is, follows the gaze of both eyes of the participant in real time. So the 2 basic eye movements that any researcher looks at in eye tracking research are fixations and saccades. Fixations are when your eye looks at something and gathers information about what the picture looks like. So basically, if you spend more time fixating on an object, that means there is something going on. It's either your cognitive processes take longer because it's something strange, difficult to process. And then the movement between fixations is called saccades. And those are very rapid jumps from one fixation to another. So basically the eye jumps. The eye can jump backwards as well, especially when you read. This is important because obviously in English we read from left to right, which I had to think about. And then going back means if you read that way, your eye jumps back and rereads something that is maybe more difficult to process or maybe new. So the most exciting part of doing this whole project is the hand-on experience of being a research assistant and building the research from the scratch. So for me as an undergraduate student, this is quite an extraordinary opportunity to just see how this whole thing works. It's been at times tedious and hard, but mostly really exciting, just to see how you can, from nothing, create something. And then the design stage took a very long time, but we eventually got to the point when we actually did the experiment using our laptop, our equipment, our eye tracker. And I think that was the most exciting part. Also, we did a presentation to the whole school, so to our department and School of Education, Communication and Society. And I thought that was really interesting because we could show what we did to some people who are established academics, but they have not worked with eye trackers. They had a lot of interesting questions and design ideas for their own studies with the use of the eye tracking technology. So I thought that was really fascinating. The biggest skill that I acquired over the last 6 weeks, or how long it's been, I think it's definitely been the ability to make decisions of elimination. So sometimes you just have to eliminate half of the things you've gathered, half of the sources, half of the whatever you thought would be important or you could use in the research. The next day you look at it and you realize, well, this is not working. I have to just cut it off and throw it all in the bin, and just do not get too attached to it, because yes, you've been doing lots of research. Yes, you've spent hours reading things and, you know, finding those lists of words or articles or studies. But there is a point when they are not relevant anymore, and then you just have to get rid of them. I do plan on having a career in academia and having research experience in that before you graduate from your undergrad is, yeah, it's irreplaceable. That's just something you really need there. You really need that in your CV, but you also, me personally, I wanted to see if that was what I wanted to do, because I thought I wanted to do it, but now I know that I'm fine with it. I enjoy this kind of work, and I can do it for, you know, the rest of my life, or at least the next 10 years.